Hello, my name is Gonzalo. I come from Montreal. I work for Hub Studio 2, where I represent the room. We thought that it's doing something with virtual reality and augmented reality, but it's getting kind of old school. So we choose something more much immersive state, which is called the real reality. The technology is on us. So who was this man, the hangover man? We have some ideas of who he was, but we don't know who really was. So the idea is to make grandparents and kids find out who this man was. It's a parkour underground where we find out who this man was. So in the beginning, we arrive to the door, the entrance where we will transcend from the generations of grandfathers to kids, and all the information on the heritage will go from fathers to kids. So in this door, you will see some feet on the floor, the feet of the 45 generations that separate us from the Vikings right now. So the feet of all these years and all this generation that has passed behind us. In the beginning, there is this huge installation where we have to align the landscape, the real landscape, with a virtual landscape, which is virtual glass. Once you align it, you will find the beginning of this adventure. We thought about many different states of this adventure. I'll present 3 of them. The first one is the hatch. So what's going on in this hatch? There are a couple of hatches on the floor, and we can open them, and through augmented glasses, we can see objects. We can touch the objects. We can feel the material of the objects that were there hundreds of years ago. Then there is another installation, which is the body history. Why these people did these marks on the teeth? Why people do tattoos today? Why they do implants? Why we do this kind of modification to the body? And try to understand the link between the past and the present, to make the child understand the grandparents, and make, by linking these generations, understand our past. The last stage I will present you today is the trade. So we'll compare objects that they had at that time with objects we have today. They will touch to these objects. They will find out in the underground compartments all these objects, and they will find some of the objects we have today. Telephones, how do they do to communicate? How do they do to write? How do they do to talk to each other? So it's a very sensitive installation, and it's all happening underground. When we arrive to the place, we will just see the hills and some little signs that will guide you through this adventure. Finally, we arrive to the exit, which is the end, and we will choose how our Viking was, how our hangover man was, who he was, and we will build by a couple of choices we can do in this door to finally do our avatar of this man. Thank you.
So many nice presentations. What do you think in the feedback panel? We will start with Emma.
Yeah, I have to think a couple of seconds.
Any questions? Anybody in the audience?
This is thought to be an indoor exhibition or
outdoor
it's an outdoor exhibition?
It's in the hill of the hangover man.
Okay. And that's in Trelleborg, I'm afraid.
It's in Trelleborg.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
How long does it take to fulfill this whole adventure? And how much do you have to study to understand the different stations?
Pass the mic, please. Sorry, pass the mic.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you take the question again?
how does it long to do this? How long does it take to do this adventure? And how much knowledge do you have to acquire to be able to do it, the different stations?
I don't think that you need pre-required knowledge. I think you can arrive fresh, and the purpose is to learn on the spot all this thing that we don't know. And the purpose is also to become archaeologists, because we still don't know who was this man. We don't know the color of his skin, we don't know the color of his hair. And the goal is to make kids imagine how this life was. So we don't have to arrive with any knowledge. And for the time, it's a matter of budget. To me, it would be an interesting activity for an hour, but then we imagine 4 of these stages. It could be a longer activity.
In Trelleborg, we are going to build a new school at the place where they found this man with the teeth. And I would say it would be something very nice to create there. Perhaps instead of other art installations. Really something to think about. It's in the place.
Do you see it as an arrangement that needs staff, or is it just running by itself?
For all the physical stuff, I think you don't need much. I think you need an arrangement, because you have to do the holes, you have to dig the holes, you have to install everything inside. Of course, we will do some lighting inside. We have some voices, because what we were thinking about is when you go to a museum and you are watching some historical piece, you have to read, and you have this connection between what you read and what you see all the time. So we want to immerse the people in this touching, looking, and hearing the information at the same time, that make that the installation could run by itself, but there is some physical installation under the ground. And then for the end, the virtual avatar, that's kind of a dream, that we can do it in a small room, we can do it bigger, we can do a 360 mapping in a room where we have the whole scenario. It's a matter of budget, of thinking the project more than 4 hours.